such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. We want to encourage you, as always, go to our webpage, for such a time as this .today, not .com, not .org, .today, for such a time as this .today. There you can always see our newest material as Big Brother continues to squeeze. We will be immune from it because you're going to start going to our webpage where we will upload our material directly in due time. And so we won't have to worry about censoring ourselves because we are on someone else's platform. Have with me today in studio interview. You've seen him before, or you've heard him before on the phone. He's in studio today. Jay Thompson.
That's right.
All things black. He is in studio. He is in Chicago area. We are doing a show that is going to be tough but fun. Welcome to the show again, Jay.
As you know, it's always good to be here. I'm glad to finally be in the studio again and live and see your faces. You can see my faces, so I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about this one.
Okay, well, let's set it up with a text here. Let's set it up with a text. Before we go into anything, as always, we try to root it somewhat in Scripture as we look at the current events. So here's a text that Mr. J brought up. I think it is fitting. Luke 14:27. Jesus is talking about what it means to be a disciple. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and it is not able to finish, all who see it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king, going out to encounter another king in war, will not sit down first and deliberate whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000? And if not, while the other is yet a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks for terms of peace. So therefore, any one of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciples. Again, verse 33. So therefore, any one of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple. This is going to be an interesting video. Jay, you've chosen this. Why don't you introduce the videos we're going to see now?
Yes. So there have been some videos on YouTube talk circulating about Andrew Wiggins, a basketball player for Golden State Warriors. And there was, at the beginning initially, some talks about him not wanting to take the vaccine for religious reasons. And then I remember I was back in Nashville and I got the call, or I heard the news that Wiggins decided to take the vaccine. I called James and said, man, we got to do a video on this. And so we did a little bit of research looking at some videos, and we got one today that kind of explains why he did it. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. So let's get after this, James.
There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding starter Andrew Wiggins. He's refused to get a COVID vaccination, and the NBA has denied his request for a religious exemption. The ruling means, under current health city orders, he is ineligible to play home games.
What's the reason for not just explaining what you believe?
It's none of your business. That's what it comes down to.
You stand to lose a lot of money.
No, and it's my problem, not yours.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep fighting for what I believe, and whether it's one thing or another, get the vaccination or not get a vaccination, who knows? I'm just going to, keep fighting for what I believe and what I believe is right.
I'm going to keep fighting for what I believe and what I believe is right. I didn't say those words. Did I, Jay? I didn't say those words.
No, that was
Wiggins. I think he said those words. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, my boy started off hot. I mean, he's strong, bold. He's short answers to the press, and I was proud of him. And
That's my problem, not yours.
yeah, and I respect that. And I mean, he sounded like he was convicted. Now we don't have a clip of Wiggins outright saying that he's a Christian, but I believe that there have been other ones that Wiggins has claimed to be a Christian, a Christ follower. And so, yeah, I think that's what he's talking about there, about his beliefs. And
Well, we don't have to. He applied for a religious exemption. That's the report. He applied for a religious exemption. And when they said what was disturbing was, why don't you just explain what you believe? You know?
Yeah.
Because he seems somewhat shy or unwilling to say what he believes. When the guy's saying, what do you believe? Now, there's another verse. Be always ready to give an answer for the hope that lies within, with meekness and in fear. But we don't. I think it's clear, and like you said before, he's professed Christ in other instances, right?
Yes. So we got that video, but we have another one that it's a little different than the first.
Yeah, because in the first one, none of your business.
Yes.
That's my problem, not yours. And this one seems to be a little different in tone and mannerism.
Like, the only options was to get vaccinated or not play in the NBA. That was a tough decision. Hopefully, it works out in the long run. And 10 years, I'm so healthy. I guess to do certain stuff, to work and all that, I guess you don't own your body. That's what it comes down to.
Jay?
Well, Wiggins, I think you failed on this one, bud. I just can't get down. First of all, you said that it wasn't an option, and I think it was. I think you had an option to either take the vaccine or not take the vaccine, and take the consequences as they came, and you decided to take the vaccine and forego your religious beliefs, so to speak. And so, and I don't want to be somebody to cast the first stone. I mean, I get how my salary, my family's salary isn't as high as yours, and I don't know how high the stakes are for you, but I think I would say for us, it's a little different. And my wife's company mandated it, and I said, look, we're not doing it, regardless of what that means, and we're willing to accept the consequences. We're going to stand by our beliefs. And
now, wait, hold on. Jay, he was going to lose a reported $15.2 million. I'll kick it back to you.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Look, but how much millions did he make before that? And I'm sure he's got some stacked away, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying
that's neither here nor there.
Here nor there.
But you know what? I don't care if it's $15, $15 million,
right?
15 billion, 15 trillion. So therefore, any one of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple. Now, let me be very clear. I'm not saying that Andrew Wiggins is not a disciple of Christ. I don't know what was in the man's heart. I don't know what was in the man's mind. Okay? I don't know why. I think Christians can take the shot in good conscience. But here's my thing. Had he just not taken the shot, he could do what he wants. He brought religion into it. He brought religion into it. He brought his faith into it by applying for a religious exemption. He did, nobody else. Had he just done what he did in quiet, it's nobody's business. He brought it up.
Yeah.
And when they asked him, he was defiant. It's my belief. I'm going to keep fighting for what I believe. Well, whatever you were fighting for, whatever your belief was, it had a price tag.
That's right.
$15 million.
Yeah.
And for that, it seemed like the stance you took was worth $15 million. That's a problem, Jay. What say you?
I agree. I think that he compromised on his beliefs and showed a bunch of people that, just like you said, James, that it had a price tag on it. And I just don't want that to be me or other Christians out there. I hope that we see this as a, hey, let's stand by our beliefs and what we are convicted about and what Scripture says is true, regardless of the consequences.
Yeah, and it's easy for me, easy for you. I'm saying easier
Easier.
in this case, right?
Maybe not, man. I mean.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Well, he's. I'm sure he's got a lot of money tucked away. I mean, for us, it's not
We
that
don't
easy
know.
to. I
He
don't
might
know.
Have, he
I
might
don't
have 10
know.
Lamborghinis,
Yeah.
5 Bugattis.
Yeah.
That's foolish if he does. But,
Yeah. He might though.
but you know what? Does it matter how much he has tucked away?
Doesn't. No.
If he was standing on the grounds and the principles of Christ, whether he had 0 tucked away, again, he brought up his faith.
Yeah.
Nobody else did.
Yeah.
But it seems like, go ahead.
And to walk back to say that you didn't have a choice,
Exactly.
or
That's disingenuous.
your body, it's like, man, I know you did. You truly did, and you took that choice at the beginning, but
That's right.
something happened to where you decided not to
Yeah,
anymore.
$15 million happened.
$15 million happened.
That's what happened, and so now you open yourself up. You open yourself up to criticism, and here's this man. What's his name? Kendrick Perkins.
KP.
The arguments he used are juvenile. Here they are.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, right? I hear about all these researchers and all these concerns about the vaccination, okay? And as a former player, a guy that went through 9 different surgeries, a guy that played with a lot of Hall of Famers, had hundreds of teammates, I watched a lot of people go under surgery. I had to go visit them at their house to make sure that their spirits was up. And you know what was right next to their bed on their nightstand? It was prescription bottles that they either picked up from Walgreens or CVS that the doctor prescribed to them, whether it was for swelling or pain or whatever the case may have been. And those guys didn't know nothing about their medication except I got to make sure I take it every 4 to 6 hours. I got to take this one at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 12 o'clock. I got to take this other pill at one time a day, and did no research on it. So you trusted the doctors then. Why don't you trust them now? And I think right now, it's not about guys actually not trusting the doctors or the teams. It's just becoming a political thing more so than anything. Because in my history, I never did research on prescription bottles after I finished getting surgeries. I just knew, hey, I'm in pain. I need for this swelling to go down. And if the doctor told me this is for inflammation, for whatever it's called, and this is for pain, I went and took them. I was popping them like hot toddies.
I'll give you first crack at that wonderful argument there, Jay.
Yes. Very, very, very good argument, huh? Well, you know what I try to do is I try to put myself in their shoes. I try to put myself in their perspective to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think what Perkins is saying is that, Mr. Perkins, what he's saying is that typically the average person, and I would agree with him, that we don't know, we can't pronounce all the words in Tylenol or ibuprofen. I can't even spell ibuprofen, and we take it anyway. But I do think, and I get what he's saying, sure, but I do think this is different. I think this is different. Now, I had an injury. I had a pretty bad table saw injury on my fingers, and my fingers got cut real bad, and they gave me a lot of pain pills, but it was up to me.
I was just about to say that.
To take that medication. Nobody forced me.
That's right.
And they made sure I knew the consequences if I didn't. And I didn't take the heavy narcotic medication that they gave me because I just didn't want any part of that. And so I dealt with the pain. That was my choice. So this is a little different.
The biggest hole in his argument, Mr. Perkins, see, you're better than I am. No one forced that on anybody else. Yeah. The surgeries you had and the pain medication you had, there was not a condition of employment. Nobody forced that into your body. You chose because you were in pain or you thought that was best. Nobody forced that. Yeah. This is completely different. He's a healthy young man. No fingers are cut off. He's not sick. He has antibodies from what he says.
Yeah.
But you force him to take it.
Yeah.
And just a pair, I can go down the list over. How can you compare a vaccine shot on a healthy person with pain medication after surgery.
All right. That's true too.
It's just.
That's true too.
It's just, really?
And it's maybe a lesser of a stronger argument against what Mr. Perkins said, but I do think there is a lot of controversy around this vaccine. I mean, you have multiple people, healthcare professionals, doctors even, who are giving up their careers and because of this decision, and
yes.
And I don't know too many people who are doing that over Tylenol or Robitussin or ibuprofen.
None, because no one's forcing that into it.
No one's forcing them into it. Yeah, and there's no controversy over the fact that Tylenol works. I mean, and so I think that it's people are being a little more cautious around this thing, and I think that's a lot more cautious. And so to say, why don't you just listen to your doctor? Where Mr. Perkins, there are a lot of doctors who are saying not to take this, and so that's.
Do we trust the doctors at the FDA that voted 16-2 to not recommend the boosters, only for the director, a political appointee, to come over and override? Was it 16-2 or 16-4? It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Do we trust those doctors, 16-2, Perkins?
Right.
Who said no? We don't know the dangerous effects.
Yeah.
Those doctors you're talking about, or the doctors who are bought and paid for by the Biden administration? So he acts like it's uniform.
Right.
This uniformed decision.
Right.
No, indeed, there's tons of doctors.
Right.
And here's what leads to most of all, I think, the trepidation. They're removing all opposition from social platforms. They're censoring people. Mm-hmm. And I tell them, and they're forcing you. I say this, Jay. Remember, you've lived in Chicago for a while. Mm-hmm. How many times have you seen a coupon for Portillo's? For those of you who don't know, it's a very famous restaurant in the Chicago area. Yes. How many times have you seen a coupon for Portillo's, Jay?
You know what? I don't know if I've seen too many.
I've never seen
no
a coupon for Portillo's. You want to know why? Tell them why, Jay.
Yeah. If people gonna come anyway.
People gonna come anyway. They don't have gimmicks.
Yeah.
It is good. Their big beef with peppers is good.
Yeah.
The double bacon cheeseburger is standard for burgers. The Cobb salad is world renowned.
Yes.
The hot dogs even taste good. And I don't even like hot dogs for the most part. You don't have to force anybody to go to Portillo's.
Nope.
If it's so good, if people are dropping dead, you wouldn't have to force them to get that daggone vaccine either.
Right.
But the mere fact that you have it,
yeah.
and so he Wiggins opens himself up to this criticism, which I believe this one lady at the end opens up. He's open to criticism, and she walks right into this the most obvious criticism of Wiggins. Here it is.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately he said he was forced, but it was his decision. It's his decision to continue to play in the NBA because those are the rules that are allowing him to do so. He said he received the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson shot, which will allow him to not miss any practice time and be fully vaccinated prior to the Warriors' October 21st home opener against the LA Clippers.
She's right.
Yep. Can't argue with her on that one.
He had a choice.
Yep.
He made his choice. Now, again, let's move from Andrew Wiggins to many more Christians. Mm-hmm. Here, October, right now, the taping date is October 12th, 2021. Many of Christians are going to be faced with this on a smaller level, with no cameras, no media coverage. Mm-hmm. No media coverage. Luke 14:27, whoever does not bear his own cross, come after me, cannot be my disciple. The cross was a symbol of persecution, death, and torture.
Suffering. Yeah.
Suffering. Verse 33, so therefore anyone of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple. Jay, am I misinterpreting this? Christians are going to be forced. Seems like in the very near future, it's happening already. I've written more religious exemptions in the last month than I have in my entire ministry years. Christians, you're going to be forced.
That's right.
You're going to be forced. And again, it's a matter of conscience sake. I mean, I believe a Christian can take the shot. But people, it's not going to end at the shot. It's not going to end at the shot.
No,
but what do you have to say about those, Jay, Christians who are going to be forced to make decisions?
Yeah, I'd say it's a great opportunity to
lose your job.
It's a great opportunity to lose your job and to stand for what you believe in. And I say this as one who, we're faced with that decision at one point when my wife's job said everybody's got to get mandated to get the shot, and we felt like we didn't want to for various reasons, and so we said we're gonna deal with the consequences of that, if it comes down to that, and we were ready. And so yes, we're all gonna have to make that decision one way or another, and I think James is right. It's not gonna stop here. They're gonna keep taking more, and they have, 2 weeks to a year to now all of a sudden there's talks of mandates, and before they said they would never mandate, and now they are mandating. I mean, goodness gracious, all you got to do is just go on YouTube to see various clips of the administration just taking more and more and more of our freedoms, and it creeps over into Christianity. And so Andrew Wiggins, he was forced to make a decision if he was going to be a disciple or not, and he chose to take the money.
And again, I'm not going to say this definitively 100% because I don't know what was in Andrew Wiggins' heart and mind. I didn't see any place where he explained that in detail. But if you saw it as a matter of faith, why you didn't take the shot, it's a matter of faith, and then he caved to the tune of $15 million. That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's sinning against your conscience. And even if he sinned against his conscience, is there no redemption? Of course there is.
That's right.
But Christians are going to be forced. Now, again, let me be very clear. Andrew Wiggins was not forced to take the shot. He was forced to make a decision.
Yes, that's right.
To either hold to what you say you believe or take the shot. And Christian, for the most part, no one's going to force you to take a shot. No one's going to force you to wear your mask. No one's going to force you to do anything. What they're going to force you to do is make a decision.
That's right.
And then once you make a decision, you can't blame anybody else. Last word, Jay.
Hey, I think you said it. Yeah. I'd say stay strong, hold the course, hold the line, as they say. Just hold the line.
Yeah. Hold the line. Trust God. There's nothing in this world that can compare to the crowns to those who are faithful to the Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for listening.
As always.
Till next time.
For such a time as this,